Scouting the internet for jobs as a videographer can be tough. Sometimes it feels hopeless sending in a CV to a job that has hundreds of applicants. But this time, family was on my side. Let me introduce you to my mum. My mum works for a housing association company for people with supported living, and she's done this for about 40 years. But like all services, it's important to make sure that your brand is made aware of all kinds of multimedia marketing. But in this case, my mum has tasked me to create a video for their company's website. As a hungry videographer, I didn't even hesitate to say no. In an effort to practice before the shoot, I thought about setting up my own interview as a means to prepare myself. However, doing it by yourself means having to make sure the camera is still in focus and having really bad eyeline. I needed some help. Thankfully, I just so happened to know a guy who knows another guy. His name is Roberto Mann. He's the evil author in the chapter. Go check it out. Anyway, now I have some extra hands. I also need to reference what an interview is supposed to look like. The framing, the lighting, the sound, eyeline. Then it happened. I knew just the show that perfected the interview. A late night show full of table banter and awful cooking. Come Dine With Me. The interview shots in Come Dine With Me act as a cutaway from the main meat of the programme. But for some reason, I thought it was funny that I referenced this show of fine British entertainment. You could easily find an interview shot basically anywhere. TV, documentaries, it's not a hard find. Going back to the studio, I packed my bags, making sure I had enough spare SD cards, batteries, and off we went. On the search for a decent location, we found our local park to be the most suitable location, since it was out of the way and relatively quiet.
On a nice sunny day, and filming your friend on a bench.
That's me. All we needed was a spot that looked visually pleasing to the eye.
Like different ways how you can approach an interview setup. You can kind of get close in, be quite intimidating.
Once we picked our bench of choice, we began setting up.
We've got like the tree as well. There's a huge dog shit on it.
With two cameras at our arsenal, I positioned camera A at a slight angle towards our subject. Using rule of thirds, I made sure to position the camera so that the subject was on the right, allowing for nice framing when cut into camera B. Camera B was positioned differently at a wider angle from the subject and lower to the ground. Framing of these two shots do not overlay each other, which makes for a great composition. The eyeline of the shot is very important when it comes to the interview. It's the most common formula to follow in shots like these. Have you ever wondered why people never look straight at the camera? Who are they looking at? It's almost rude if you ask me. But really, the reason is quite simple. It relaxes the interviewee. It also enables the viewer to feel as though they're sitting alongside them. For audio, we used a pinned up lavalier mic on the shirt and a zoom mic just positioned just below for just extra coverage. Checking the levels for clipping on the lav and the zoom, we were ready to roll.
What I love about South Church Park is the wildlife garden. I've been living here all my life, and there's always something to make your day feel a little bit more special, being incorporated with that lovely greenery and the surroundings of wildlife and gardening.
I have heard there's a kind of language when it comes to the crew and talent during shooting. It can sometimes save a whole take. For example, the interview is going smoothly, then all of a sudden the interviewee gets off track and is talking utter nonsense. Your job as the interviewer is to gesture them to move on to another topic in the most subtle way without cutting in and ruining the audio, kind of guiding them whilst also making it a smooth fix. This non-verbal communication can save your shoots in so many different ways. And that's a wrap for now. Whether you're providing promotional material for a client or making a short film, practicing before a shoot really shows when you arrive on set. It can ultimately impress the client who's hired you. And who knows, they may want you again for more projects in the future. As a freelancing videographer, I feel as though practice is really essential to all things. Really, if you really master something, people will gravitate towards you a second time, and a time after that, and a time after that. So really practicing and getting that knack of what to do on set, because practice makes what? Go on, say it.